what God gets at the cross. Usually, believers never give thought to what God gets out of anything he does. Of course, God does have feelings. He is not a robot or dumb like an idol, and he is touched by the feelings of our infirmities. There is no place our Heavenly Father is greater blessed than by what his Son did at the cross. Here are at least four things our Father is released to do because of Christ's death. First, it is at the cross where humanity gets its first glance at God's supreme purpose. His eternal plan surfaces to its plainest, most perfect expression so that even a lost and hell-bound sinner can see God's plan. Romans chapter 8 verse 31 so beautifully says, if God is for us, who can be against us? God was for us when he offered his perfect lamb to be his sacrifice. His plan was to save sinners to the outermost, and this meant that he would have to depend upon the sacrifice of Christ and not the sinner's works. This meant that he could rebirth any human who simply believe and vouchsafe us and our entire way to the Father's house. Second, God was set free to deal with Satan as he planned from the beginning. At the cross, the head of Satan was bruised, and he never again would be able to outsmart God when dealing with believers. You see, Satan's trick played on Adam and Eve was that when they ate the fruit of the forbidden tree, they would have the knowledge of good and evil. The knowledge of good and evil is a knowledge contrary to God's plan. At the cross, the erroneous message of Satan was hit in the head so that the born again child of God would have entirely new knowledge, not that of good and evil, but the spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of Christ. As a result, God is able to talk to his children through a new knowledge. The only thing a believer really needs to know is Christ. That's it, nothing else. Third, the Father's infinite love was demonstrated perfectly at the cross. Throughout all the time before the cross, God was merciful to all his chosen ones like Noah, Abraham, David, and Isaiah. Yet, even the best of God's Old Testament people failed the Lord, and because they were under the law, they were punished one way or another. But when Jesus bore the sins of whosoever believeth, God could love believers with an everlasting love and not be dependent on them. He could now dependent on the finished work of Christ. Fourth, here is another strange thing that took place because of the cross. This thing is mentioned 6 times when Jesus prayed his prayer in John chapter 17, 2, 6, 9, 11, 12, and 24 as Jesus refers to those you have given me. Now the Father gives to the Son all he has rebirthed, constituting a new Christ upon this earth, his body, his church. To God be the glory. God bless you.